in creating your reality. And you know what's cool about this? And this, or it's also not cool. It's already doing it right now, you just don't know it. And everything is happening right now by default. But when you become aware of all these processes and say, okay, now I can take these processes that are automatic functions of the brain and start using them on purpose, then you will start creating your reality. Instead of your reality happening to you, you'll be happening to reality. How many of you would like to know how to do that? Are you telling me you don't want to know how to change your reality? You like the one you're in, huh? Let me ask you that. How many are completely, totally satisfied with their reality? I don't think you'd be here, would you? Then why do you want to stay there? Would you want to let go of everything that creates this one? If it's making it happen right now, and let's get into one that creates a different one. Do you know that quantum physicists say there are actually an infinite number of possible realities? Right now. And they're all right here, right now. You just can't see them. Just like the others. Okay. Here's where everybody is. How many have seen Bill Murray's movie Groundhog Day? And I know you've heard stories, and it may be personal for you. You ever heard a woman say, man, I just keep attracting the same type of guy. It doesn't matter what I do. I mean, and I know people that have gone through my seminar have told me their dad was an alcoholic and they married and divorced 3 more. You know why? They were wired. That was their definition of reality. They were caught up in, scientists and psychologists called a cybernetic loop. Every defined situation in your life, do you know you have everything defined already? Yeah, you do. And it's held in a cybernetic loop. And right now you're caught in that loop. And it's happening every day. Over and over and over. And some people will die living in that loop all their lives. How would you like to break out of the loop? I'm telling you. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not deceiving you. I'm not doing this for your money. You're at the beginning of the most powerful stuff that's going to hit the world. That's what's amazing about this. This is like brand new. Just happening. But you know what's usually the problem? How many of you have heard of Copernicus? You know what the Copernicus theory was? That, you know what happened to him?
Vanished from the church.
Yeah. He said, back then, what did their eyes tell him?
We're the sun.
Earth's the center of the universe. And what's it look like? The sun is going around. The planets are going around. Doesn't all your physical senses tell you that's true? Yeah. So he comes up with, and that's the worldview, everybody believes this. He comes up with this new theory, and he's threatened with being put to death. But then, a few years later, a guy named Galileo comes along. How many know who he is? And everybody's heard of Galileo. He created the what? Telescope. Guess what he proved?
Copernicus was right.
Yes. But you know what? It took 150 years after it was proven. 150 years before the worldview changed. Galileo was on his deathbed under house arrest for proving it, because he wouldn't do like Copernicus. He stuck with his guns. And on his deathbed, he received the first copy of his published book called Celestial Spheres that proved it, right before he died. And you know, it wasn't until 1992 that the Catholic Church apologized. Now, why I'm telling you this? This is brand new stuff. It's only about 50 years old when I'm telling you. Are you going to wait another 100 years just because it's not a worldview yet? See, this is my point. This is proven science, what I'm telling you here. I'm not giving you theory today. This is proven science. Doesn't it sound good? Wouldn't you be able, or wouldn't you like to be able to take control of the creative process and literally create your day every day? I get up 3:30 in the morning during the school year and spend an hour and a half every morning creating my day, creating my life. It's been amazing. Some people call it prayer. But you get hooked up with your oneness with the real Creator, you can do anything. And if you have any biblical understanding, it doesn't say anything's possible with God. Nothing's impossible to him that believes. And you've got the tool right here and you didn't even know it. You got it right here. And it's wasting away and it's caught up in your Groundhog Day. Brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. What did Einstein say? Do you remember his famous quote?
Imagination is more important than knowledge.
Imagination is more important than knowledge. You find out that that's how you're creating everything. Let me ask you a question. Isn't worrying using your imagination? Yeah. The moment something that happens just makes you start worrying, what are you doing in your head? You're imagining the worst scenario. And you know what? Your brain believes it. And you know what you end up doing? Creating the possibility. As men think it. We spend most of our time thinking about what we don't want to happen, don't we? And do you know that you actually, by thinking about what you don't want to happen, you create it? You're caught in that loop. See, I'll teach you the process of laying down new neural circuits, and you can change any behavior. It has to do with whatever you want to create. Abundance, health, relationships. I know you've probably heard this spiel before about all these wonderful things. But it literally affects every part of your life. And one of the key things that Rebecca's reminding me of is that one of the seminars I want to create along with them is for young married couples that haven't had babies yet, or that have young children, and teach them how to start ground wiring. Because they're already doing it and not knowing it.
You mean how to wire the kids you're
Yes.
going to raise?
How to wire your own children, and you don't wait till they're born.
Even before they're born.
Even before they're born. The moment the neural circuit is in the fetus's brain to hear, it starts being wired. Families that fight, it feels every emotion the mother feels. It's wired with every experience. See, it starts right away. And then when you come out, 0 to 7, that's the imprinting years. Do you know you have no filter at that time? Did Jesus say to have the faith of a what? Yeah, that's because there's no filter. Right now, you've got a terrible filter. You've been filtering a lot of what I've been telling you today because it doesn't fit your paradigm. But you know what? A 6-year-old would be sitting here eating it up. I can do anything. Okay.
What the teacher says. That's what the teacher says.
Yeah.
They won't even believe their mom.
I'm telling you.
That's right.
So guess what you need to do if you want to, you need to become a little child again. Can you become a child, skip around the room, you know, have some fun? I'm never becoming an adult. I'm not going to grow up. Don't call me Peter Pan. Now, yes, I'm responsible and I'm an adult in the ways that I should be responsible, but not in the way I think and act. I'm never growing up. I don't want that to hurt. So here's what you need to realize tonight. What's real? What did I tell you was real? What's reality?
Perception.
Based on your experiences.
There you go. You get an A. Perception is reality. So if you want to change your reality, what do you got to change? And if you want to change your perception, where is your perception right now? In the brain. And if you want to change the perception in the brain, you've got to change the neural circuits. And the process is simple. You do this for 30 minutes to an hour every day. It happens automatically. One day all of a sudden you wake up and all these things are changing. And you were just, doing what I tell you to as far as your thoughts are concerned to rewire. It happens automatically because that's the way the process works. Now you will have a little bit of resistance because you know what you're going to want to do. You're going to have trouble wanting to leave the reality you're in right now because you are tied to it very strongly with emotion. Emotional attachment is one of the keys. Letting go of emotional attachment that's the only way you can get to a new reality. And I'll show you how to do that. Well, that's basically it for today. But just to give you an example of what I started doing this about 10 years ago. For me, I had no ability to play instruments. I had a desire. I also sing, I've sung professionally, and I've done some professional acting, but I wanted to sing my own songs instead of everybody else's. But I can't play an instrument. Long story short, because we're out of time, but I literally, within 6 months, became a songwriter using this method. And I wrote over 50 songs and actually played the instruments. Have you ever heard of a sequencer? And you actually have to play the instrument, but you can, the drum, you have to play all of the notes, all the basses, parts. I literally created all my songs and played all the instruments, and I have produced 4 CDs of my own music. And I had no idea how to do it when I started. I didn't go to school, didn't take any lessons, and created something that I thought was impossible. It was an amazing experience to see it all happen. That's my big one. That's what got me into all this and really took off with it. Was I did create something that I had no ability, I had no way logically with my eyes and my mind to figure this out to do this. And you know what I did every morning? I said, I am a songwriter. I am writing songs. And I started imagining myself singing those songs. And then things started happening. Because guess where all reality starts? Right here.
So is your system based on just the affirmations?
No, there's more to it. It has to do with the theta state, and I don't want to get into it right now, but there's also technology now that can help you get the information into the subconscious mind. And I get into this real deeply in the seminar, but you have a subconscious mind right now as your automatic pilot. It's running your life. 90% of your activity right now is not run by your conscious mind. It's all run by your automatic pilot, subconscious. That's the wire part. So you have to get down in there and rewire. And affirmations are a part of it. But you're not just saying affirmations. There's more to that. There's more to it. There's a time to do it. There's a way to get into the right state for it to sink in. And you have to do it every day for a certain period of time. If you quit too soon, it won't work. The brain has an automatic function that transfers it to permanency if you do it longer and if you do it correctly. And we're talking about everything. Health, you want to create a business, whatever you want to create. How many of you believe you have to die of sickness and disease? You know the way most people die? I don't know too many people who don't. But haven't we been kind of wired that way? Got to die somehow. Got to die something. Right? And I remember as a little kid, I had a great-grandfather, great-grandmother that both lived to 96. Neither one of them had been to a doctor or a hospital in their lives. Not one time. And they didn't die of anything. They just didn't want to wake up one day. They just passed on.
Because nothing was ever defined. They never had anything defined for them.
No, they never watched any television. There wasn't any. There was nothing to define their reality except what they had. I remember a lot of people when I was a little boy dying. My mom would tell me, no, they weren't sick. They just went to bed one night and didn't wake up. How many people do you know like that in this day? We're wired. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to. And I know I'm getting out on a limb here, but you don't have to grow old either. You don't have to grow old. That's a state of mind. And it translates to the body. Guaranteed. I'll show you in the seminar that time is actually an illusion. Physicists say it's a created concept by the brain. Just like the horizon. Now that I've blown your mind, Steve's going to talk to you.
And I'm going to hand out something.
And about how you can sign up for the seminar if you desire, and some other things. Thanks for coming, and I appreciate your attention.